Tuning in to Chaos Culture Radio, dropping knowledge in the studio you already know.
Thank you for tuning in to Chaos Culture Radio. This your boy Prince Hakeem.
And you already know this your man Ronnie Ron, man. How's it going, Hakeem, man? Long time again.
It's been a minute though, but we still vibing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we still vibing, we still living, man. Even during this pandemic, I don't know, man. I might go to G5 tonight. I don't know, man.
You might go to G5. I might join you. But you want to know, I got to give you some credit though, because you've been getting a lot of pretty ladies on the podcast, and I feel kind of ashamed about that. You know what I mean? Because our next guest, when you sent me to, I didn't know who she was. You know what I'm saying? When I seen that, she is bad. She is official. If I was working at Walmart, she would have had my check. That's for real. That's for real, for real. She would have had all 2 weeks worth of that check. You know what I'm saying? So, ladies,
not 2 weeks, man.
No, I would have gave it to her. She is bad. She is bad and a hard-working woman. And you know what I'm saying? I just want to get this little monologue to in a diss to most of you niggas who we try to get on a podcast and don't want to get on a podcast, but it doesn't matter anyway because black women own more businesses than niggas.
Facts.
All right? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
They you know what I mean? Out of let me read this. You know what I mean? Out of 27% of small business owners, there are women, and out of that is 35% is African American women.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And that's just the statistics for y'all to know. Black women are leading in businesses, and it does make sense. Most of our clients, most of our guests has been women. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Queen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elodie Alcindor, and I am the CEO and president of Blue Royalty Production.
Damn, CEO?
CEO. You listen. Hey, Elodie, don't be modest. Don't be modest. You gotta shit out your other businesses. You got another one, because I've been snooping.
So for Blue Royalty Productions, I am a writer, director, producer. I'm also a content creator for YouTube where I post motivational and inspirational messages just about, the ascension process and the growth and the experiences that we've kind of all been going throughout the year of 2020. I'm also the co-founder of a charity called Breaking Bread, where we fed over 25,000 homeless between 2014 and 2020. Between the DMV area, Atlanta, and Miami. I don't know. I just have like a lot of little passion projects that, kind of keep me full. So, yeah.
But you also forgot one. What about your agency, your casting agency?
Oh, yeah.
My
God. Jesus is a lot. Okay, I'm also the CEO and president of the Blue Royalty Agency, where it's basically a powerhouse for up-and-coming entertainers. We're a one-stop shop for brand building, headshots, EP, electronic press kits, bios, anything that you need to pretty much get your business up and running, whether that's you as an individual brand or like an actual company, we would oversee the entire project and get you up and running.
No,
so are you local? Or are you local? Or are you international? The reason why I say international because it's an international podcast. So some people might try to get in with your casting agency. Go ahead.
Well, I'm local to Miami, Florida. I don't really have any connections internationally yet, but I'm definitely open to it. So hit me up and we can talk for sure.
Definitely. Now, let me ask you a question. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Miami, Florida. Born and raised.
Born and raised? And how did you get into film? Because typically, you know what I mean? I was going to ask you something. By your last name, I know your peoples might not support the type of work too.
Well, at first they didn't. They didn't really understand it. My father is a doctor. My mother is a man. My mom is very supportive. She kind of is like, she nurtures the free spirit in me. My dad is a little bit more traditional. So there's like a balance there. But I am originally from Miami, Florida. Both of my parents are Haitian. And I actually yes, both of my parents are Haitian, my family's Haitian. And I just started dabbling in film. I'm actually I write stage plays. So I've done like 6 or 7 live shows. Between well, that's coming. I haven't done Why Good Men Cheat yet. It's on its way.
It's on it. Okay.
I was supposed to do it this year, but COVID. shut that whole thing down. But yeah, I had 2 sold out shows back in 2018 in June and November. Yes.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Those are my first plays in Miami. I typically did my plays in DC or Maryland. So, yeah.
But I was going to ask you, so you pretty much the next Tyler Perry in Miami, which is awesome, which is great. And we feel honored to have you on this podcast. So when you get bigger, it's gonna be like, wow, I remember her when she was on our podcast. But push come to shove. So what made you really get into the stage plays? Because you don't really see that typically from a black woman to do stage play like that. You see what I'm saying? So what made you go that route?
That's a great question. So it actually started off a little bit more therapeutic for me than anything. I've always been a writer. Like I've kept journals since I was like 6 or 7 years old, just to kind of express myself. I'm not a very verbal person, but I'm a little bit more, I write more than anything, literary. So I used to just write a lot in my journals. And then when I went to high school in Maryland, I joined the drama club and I started to see that I can actually turn my thoughts into stories. And I can add characters to these stories, and I can actually control how the story ends, and that intrigued me. So I kind of married the two together, and started telling my own stories in that way.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's dope. That's very dope for especially a woman with your caliber to be able to create stuff like that. It's very interesting because a lot of women feel like they are limited by this society. Just to see a woman that's actually doing something that powerful and that dynamic. And it's this type of field, especially because it's the acting world. They always have their particular race. So it's really good to see like a black woman being that powerful in that field. Go ahead, I can.
Thank you.
Now, being in DC, because I love DC too. DuPont Circle, Southeast, Hattiesville. You know what I'm saying? So what is because I'm trying to get this. So it's starting to make sense. How did you end up in DC to go to drama school? Like you know what I mean? Was you like real bright or something, or you know what I mean? Or because I know your folks, because I'm one of your peoples. We don't too much send our peoples away.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not necessarily that I was really bright. I mean, I was, of course, but that wasn't really what took me there. It was more so like personal family stuff. My cousin came down to Miami and she was like, look, I can tell that you're not happy here. I really want you. My cousin lives in Maryland, in PG County. She was like, look, I want you to come live with me. And I was like, okay, like I want something. I just turned 16. I'm like, I really want to try something different. I want a new environment. I was open to the adventure. And so we spoke to my parents and they trust my cousin very much, obviously. And so they were like, yeah, go ahead. Because she's very strong. She's very established and she don't take no shit. So they were like, yeah, you're the perfect mentor for her, basically. So I moved to Maryland going into 10th grade. And it kind of just took off from there. And I definitely believe in divine timing, and I believe in God really being in control of our lives, because had I never gone there, I would have never stumbled into my purpose. So I definitely think that it was aligned for me perfectly. And I learned everything I needed to under my mentor there, which was my high school director, Chanel Ingram. And she taught me everything I needed to know as far as being a writer, being a director, being a stage manager, just like teaching me how to control all parts of production. So yeah, I left, went to Maryland, came back after I graduated high school, and then left again because I was like, Miami is not for me anymore. So.
But why you feel like Miami wasn't not for you? Is it because of the lack of support, or because you feel like the whole dynamic of the industry?
Or the lack of industry?
Yeah.
No. It was when I was 18, so I was still kind of finding myself, and I just knew that I wasn't done with Maryland yet, so I just had to go back. Like I was 18, I just wasn't ready to come home yet. So I moved back to Maryland like a few months after graduation, and I stayed there till I was like 25, and then I came home.
You kind of exposed your age.
I know, I did, huh?
Yeah, you did.
Well, I look good.
Give it a secret. I just exposed it. No, but
yeah.
But you feel because a lot of people always ask, especially someone, I know they probably ask you as well, because you know Miami is growing in the film industry. Do you feel like Miami is going to continue to grow in the film industry, or do you feel like you yourself as a businesswoman in the theater production is going to lead to like LA, New York, or DC?
I feel like we're kind of all in control of what we can make Miami into, to be honest with you. So if everyone sticks together and we just continue to really grind and everybody kind of stays in their own pocket, because I know a lot of people in a lot of different pockets. There's music videos, people making movies, people doing stage plays. Everybody's like in a different pocket. And I think if we keep working, we definitely can set the foundation. It might not be in our time, but like our kids that like our legacy, our kids that are coming after us are definitely going to be reaping like the benefits.
I love how she said that.
Lo, I like how you correct that when you said it might not be in our time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I wanted to ask you, because let's be real honest about this. Hispanics dominate the film industry here, right?
Facts.
Okay.
I'm asking you. Look, I'm asking.
I don't know. I can't validate. I don't really know. I can't say that. I'm not in the film industry like that. I'm live theater, so we're a lot of
but I'm just saying,
white people dominate that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
okay.
White people dominate the theater. Yes.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I say that, because you know, what I mean, you're the only person. Do you film music videos as well?
I cast for them. I don't film them.
So you cast for the music video.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But
I will say I have seen a lot of Hispanic cameramen and a lot of Hispanic directors. So yes, I can validate some of that.
And there's very few, you know what I mean, black people getting in this field here. You know what I mean? I know one major one, A. Garcia. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
I haven't.
Yeah, so he does a lot of videos and stuff like that. So, but it don't get me wrong, it makes me feel good to see somebody like you.
Yes.
Like you, who look like me, who's doing something that's like out of the norm. You know what I mean? That tells me that there's a chance that something could change. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, of course. Absolutely. But understand, like, it's not to be taken lightly. It's for me, because it's not just a job, it's a very spiritual thing. It's my life's purpose. So there's a lot of
go in there, talk to him.
There's a lot that goes into this process, because if it was just a job, I could pump product out like it's nobody's business. But the content that I put out is meant to be impactful, and is meant to make people think. It's meant to make people reflect. It's meant to inspire people to make changes in their lives. So it's very challenging, because I have to go through a very spiritual process in order to regurgitate everything that God is teaching me in my life. So yeah, it's. I know that I am going to be a powerhouse. I mean, I am already, but I'm going to be an even bigger powerhouse, because it is a very spiritual process. Yes, and when I do that, we will be creating jobs for a lot of African Americans. So it's going to balance out. Yeah, it's definitely going to balance out. And you know, it's a lot. It's a lot of burden to carry.
Let my palavra from Sezi comigo. My bad, people. I didn't mean to just get off character, but I just was thrown off. You know what I mean? But another question I want to ask you is, what adversities have you felt just being black or a woman, like in this type of field that you in?
Not much, like being black, because my community is very supportive of me. Like I sold out my first show in Miami in like 2 weeks. So, but people were watching me for a few years before I came down. So my community definitely supports me. They stand behind me 100%. So being black has not really been an issue, but being a woman and being respected as a woman who's on her shit has been a bit of a challenge, because men always try their hand the other way before they try it respectfully, or they'll try to use business as a way to kind of swindle in. Like anyone who knows me knows that I don't take business meetings after sundown. I don't need to have a business dinner with you to talk business. If we're going to talk business, we're going to talk during the day over a lunch. It's like, you know, and some guys like, it ain't that deep. I was just trying to,
No, I was saying that's very good. I never heard a woman explain that so well.
Yeah. You have to. And like, they'll get mad, like, man, I was just trying to pick your brain. I'm like, okay, well, we can do that anytime during the day. And then later on, it'll be like, you know, I was trying to get at you. It's like, I know that, but I'm not on that, you know? So it's not really about me being black, but it's more so me being respected as a woman and like having to set my boundaries very early on, so they know, like, look, if you're coming at me with a check, it's because I'm gonna take your money and build business with it. It's not because you're trying to buy something that you ain't never gonna get, type thing, So yeah, that's really been a challenge.
It's dispiriting to hear that, because it seemed like it's a common thing. Me and Ron had interviewed D Woods from Daddy and Kane, and she said the same thing too, being in the industry, as far as, like, people proposition sex and stuff like that, and having the fact that, like she said, that one person that even told her that it'll be more better for her if she had a man with her to come along when handling business. Have you ever had anybody tell you that?
In life, yes, but not in my personal business. I think that when people meet me, they kind of know already, like, okay, she ain't with the shits. I'm kind of I'm firm in who I am. I don't bat my lashes and do all that extra stuff. So I don't really need a man present with me. I handle my business, like, very straightforward. But like in
So you
other
become
things, like,
masculine. You pretty much come into your masculine frame
yes,
at the moment.
I have.
Okay, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
I have to. And but like going to buy a car, like stuff like that, like they tell me I need a man for,
Of
but
course.
yeah, but like my personal business, no, because I just let it be known very early on, like, I ain't with
But then
that.
I want to ask you too, because when it comes to the dating market, when it comes to the dating market, don't you kind of find it kind of hard to date someone because of your expertise and in your field, how you have to play masculine all the time when you out doing business deal, or no, you know how to turn it off?
I used to,
Mm-hmm.
but it's all about meeting the right person. And when you meet the right person, that person matches you in every way. That
Mm-hmm.
part doesn't even really come up, because when you're home, you're home. You're not really talking about work. And when you are talking about work, he's talking about his work and you're talking about your work. So it's like, it's more of like a passion thing than it is a competition. So I feel like the only men who are intimidated by powerful women are men who don't have anything going on. So
Ooh,
that's how I feel. That's what I've experienced. Like,
You said something. I'm not
boy,
gonna say. I'm
she
gonna
yeah,
start.
boy,
Talk to
and
him.
she should have
Take him
came
to
on a.
church.
I think she should have came on
No,
a
no,
Love
I
Max
ain't say.
podcast.
I ain't say nothing. I ain't say nothing. Take him to church. No,
that's
Boy,
how
she
I
because
taking them
feel.
to church.
take him to church. But I do want to ask you this: like, have you find it hard for you to juggle work and relationships and family at the same time?
Good point. Good question.
Um, I will say yes. It's been, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. My family, though, they understand, like, when I'm in production, they know they don't hear from me for like weeks at a time, and they'll just check on me, like, you alive? Because like my head is down when I'm working, like, especially when I'm like within 30 days of a production, I'm checking in with them very briefly, but we're not like hanging out, and they understand and they respect it. I'm with them the rest of the year, but when I'm working, they just know. And then on the day of the show, they show up for me. They know their roles. My sister is always at the front because she's the only one I trust with my money. My best friends, they're setting up my consent. Like, it's like a family business on the day of production. So everyone's involved and they kind of understand what's going on. And as far as like juggling a relationship, like I said, like, your person understands. So I can work on my laptop and be with you. We can be present. We're not saying anything, but I'm on mine and you're on yours, type thing. And I'm working on budgets. And usually, if I'm dating someone who is also business savvy, they're helping me with business plans or they're helping me with budgets. So it's like, like I said, it's a joint effort, because everyone brings something different to the table when you're dating someone who's on the same level as you. So it's not really hard to balance that part, but it can be challenging at times. I don't know if I answered that clearly, but yeah.
No, you did. You answered it very well. Very well. And I was
Okay.
going to ask you too. How can someone let's just say someone's trying to cast for your one of your plays, okay? What do
Mm-hmm.
you look for? Because I know a
Yeah,
lot of
for your
people might be
casting
listening
agency.
that trying to be up and coming actors.
Because I see you
You
had
know,
got to,
go
my
ahead.
bad. Go ahead, my brother.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Akim. Go ahead.
No, because I see you had a couple people you got into some videos, and two little kids you got in a Chris Brown video.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what do you look
Mm-hmm.
for as far as a casting agent?
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
not me. It's not really me. I just take the submissions as what the directors are looking for
What
a
did,
particular. Yeah. So I don't really have anything to do with that process. It's just
okay.
what they want for the casting part. And Yeah, I'm just the middle person, to be honest with you.
Do you have some form of idea of what they want that you ever heard them over talk? You know,
Yeah, they'll
like
tell me. Yeah, they'll tell me like, "Hey, I need chocolate boys." So I'm submitting pictures for chocolate. I mean, like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, I need light skinned girls with curly. I need light skinned girls with curly hair. Like, okay, so those are the ones I'm gonna submit. Yeah.
Now the casting agency field, is that pretty much a male dominant field in Florida? Because I know, you know what I mean, when a lot of guys come here to get their video shots and stuff like that, you know, I would assume, I think that, you know what I mean, there's a bunch of casting agencies that are a lot of them run by men or women?
Um, I feel like it's a mixture. When you're talking about like hip hop videos and stuff
Yeah.
like that, obviously it's gonna be black men because that's our culture, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Misogyny at its
and
finest.
yeah, pretty much. You know, it's like, yo, I need some models. Oh, I know these hoes. You know, like it's like okay, whatever type thing. So, I would say that because I've mostly worked with hip hop, so I would say that it is male dominated. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
oh wow, so you mostly work with okay. That's good that you have different variety of each world, so you can explain to people that's trying to come up and trying to get into that type of field. You know, I'm someone that actually studied that field as well, especially the film part. So just to
Mm-hmm.
hear your side of the story because I never seen the side of the theater part. I'm only
Yeah.
seeing the side of the filming part. So just
Oh
to see
yeah,
someone go
yeah.
ahead.
I love theater. I love live theater because the audience is literally right there. You feed off of their energy,
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
and they're laughing with you, they're crying with you, and you can feel the impact of your work right then and there. Like I don't have to, I'm not so disconnected from it. Like if I have a heavy scene and everyone's quiet in the audience and they're listening, it's like yeah. When I was writing it, this is exactly how I wanted the vibe to be. So it's like it's more immediate gratification and you're just right, you're right there with your audience going on the journey with them. So I prefer live theater over film, to be honest.
And another question I wanted to ask you as well, what is the process of starting a business? Like what steps do you have to take to start a business, especially like your type of business?
Well, I started mine back in 2012, and Google was my best friend. I literally Googled
Okay.
from the colors I chose for my logo. I looked at the marketing color wheel,
Mm-hmm. I was about to say
how to
some
write
shit.
thank you,
Mm-hmm.
how to write a mission statement, how to, you know, write a sponsor, like create a sponsorship deck. Like there's so many steps. I would say the first thing is definitely coming up with a name that's going to identify who you are for the rest of your business's lifeline, um, or lifetime. I would say getting yourself registered, getting an employer ID number, getting like your paperwork is extremely important. Making sure that you always have contracts ready, in place. Everything needs to be put down on paper, and taking care of your team. I think that's like the most important thing because if you take care of your team, they're going to take care of you. And one thing I can say is that like I've had amazing relationships with my team. We it's weird because I'm their leader, but I'm a peer to them as well. So there's a boundary, of course, but we still have like very deep conversations. I know what's going on in their life. They don't really know what's going on in mine, but I learn a lot about what they have going on in their life so that I know how to nurture them and how to take care of them, basically. Some of them have kids and things like that. So it's just taking care of your team, taking care of your business, taking care of yourself, and just making sure that you got all your ducks in a row.
Wonderful. Let me ask you a question. I want to talk to you more about your stage and your plays. Now, I'm in the theater somewhat in the same, you know what I mean. But
Oh, Hakeem, don't go there. Don't go there.
no,
You know you ain't no theater.
no, I am. How do you know? Listen, I've watched Fences and Color Girls and
For color
Cats.
girls, that's
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. You know what
Okay,
I'm
go
saying?
ahead. Carry on.
I'm
Carry on.
I'm listen. I'm seasoned. I'm
Carry on.
seasoned. I'm an old man, so I should know about these things. Now, I'm pretty particular about the topics. You know what I mean? And because I see a theme here with the type. You know what I mean? The silent cries of a woman, why good men
Mhm.
cheat. Um, and and I'm wondering, like, where do you come up with the titles of the concepts for your plays?
The titles? That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
I can't really say. So the mission of Blue Royalty Productions is to rehabilitate Black entertainment and to rebuild the foundation of Black families. So I tell a lot of stories that deal with, you know, the different relationships that we have in family, whether it's father-son, mother-daughter, father-daughter, husband-wife. You know, like I just tell a lot of the stories that we go through in our day-to-day lives. And in writing the story, I guess the title just kind of comes to me. A lot of times I'm like fasting during this process while I'm writing. So it's all really, you know, just divinely guided. I don't know. I wish I had like a deeper answer, but really God just gives it to me and that's it.
No,
but that's very interesting that you fast while you writing. So
no,
you
I think that's a great.
Fasting, you actually create. But that's very
No,
interesting.
that was a great answer. So
that was.
I see you're very spiritually inclined.
Yeah.
Is that is that kind of like the driving force of your creativity for mostly everything?
Yes, it is. It is. I've been through. Okay, so I like to consider myself to be a healer, and I say that because I've healed myself so many times in so many situations, and I feel like I've gained a perspective, insight, and wisdom that a lot of people are looking for. And as a leader and as a creator, a spiritual leader, I feel like I go through things before everyone else does so that I can give them some insight and, like, you know, drop little nuggets for them to kind of go along their journey. So it definitely is a driving force in everything that I do and in the way that I live my life too. It's not just in my content. Like my friends will tell you, I was talking to my friend the other day, she was like, boy, if it was one word I could use to describe you, it would be manifestation. Like I'm so big on tapping into your power and creating the life that you want. Like we're so much more powerful than we understand. And it's like God wants us to step into our power so much, but we're so limited in our perspective and our beliefs that we limit ourselves too. So everything I do is spiritually based, the way I live my life, the relationships that I have, you know, my interactions with people, and also in the work that I create. So to answer your question, yes, everything is spiritually based.
Ron, I don't want to cut you, but
I was going to ask you too. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, my brother.
Go ahead.
No, because I was
just gonna ask her. I was just gonna ask her a question. How do you feel? Well, what do you feel the Black community is lacking? Because the way you talking, like you have a lot of great information.
No,
how come a lot of our people don't have that type of information?
And you speak from a place, you know what I mean? Like you sound like you've been through a lot. I could tell with certain things. You say certain trigger words for me. That sounds like, you know what I mean? Like you have a testimony. You know what I mean? And that also, because it takes a woman. But answer his question, and I answer mine. Go ahead.
I think it kind of. I feel like it may answer both. I think one of the main things that the Black community is lacking is compassion for self. And the reason I say that is because we're taught, like, man, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be good. Like, let's just keep it going, dog. Just keep moving, man. We're taught to numb ourselves when we're feeling, and we do it so much that we start to pile things on top of each other. And in doing that, we become more and more and more disconnected from our souls. Our souls are created to feel. Like, remember that we're very spiritual beings in a human body. It's not the other way around. You know what I'm saying? We're spiritual beings having a human experience, and we each have a purpose on this planet. So when we drink to get over something, and we smoke to get over something, and we sleep with different men and different women to numb ourselves from feeling, and every time like the junk comes up, we find a way to stuff it back down, we disconnect from who we truly are. And so I feel like the Black community really lacks compassion for themselves and gentleness with ourselves. Like, it's okay to cry. It's not that deep. Like, it's okay to cry. It's okay to have a breakdown. It's okay to feel, and it's okay to purge. We carry so much, and it's from our ancestry, like deeper than any of us, like before any of us came on this planet, like our great grandparents were taught, like, take anything, like you're nothing but a servant, you're nothing but a slave, take it. So it's embedded in our DNA to just keep going, but we're not in that place anymore. We're in a place where, we now need to raise the next generation. We need to raise young men that are okay with processing their emotions. We need to raise young men who are okay with crying, because it's necessary for the overall mission. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be a man that feels nothing and call yourself an influencer and call yourself a community leader. It's not possible. It doesn't go together. Like, what are you teaching people? To be more numb? No. And the same thing for women. Like, there's a lot of women who are so out of touch with their emotions that they're damaging men, they're damaging their sons, they're damaging their relationships with their friends, like, because we're so disconnected from our soul and our heart. And it was a journey for me, like getting back to my soul and getting back to the core of who I am and being okay with that. Like, if I want to cry, I'm gonna cry. I don't care what you think about it. If I'm angry, I'm gonna be angry. If I'm sad, I'm gonna be sad. And I'm not gonna apologize about it. I'm gonna be who I am unapologetically. And that's what we're missing. It's like, we need chains and we need diamonds and we need all this stuff to validate who we are. And it's like, we're missing the whole point, So I don't know. It's a lot.
No, that was deep.
No, that was beautiful, Shorty.
You put a
I had them pour some tea and all right now. I'm like, no, for real. I just, talk to me. That's what I was saying. I said, just talk to me. You know what I mean?
It's true. Yeah.
And I love that. I want to ask you something. You seem like a very transparent person, and I can hear the sincerity in your voice, and you know what I mean. And I can, even with the titles. Now, my next question is, how much of your own personal experiences are incorporated? Wait,
I knew the question was coming. Go ahead.
You know it was coming. You know I was gonna go there. How much of your personal experience is incorporated in your stage plays and in your writing? Because let me tell you something. When you have a title like "White Good Men Cheat" or the silent cries of a woman or crisis of a woman, you know what I mean? That. You know, I'm a deep thinker, and I'm a very deep on that. I say that right there spoke volumes. So I want to know how much of that reflects you.
I'm not gonna say all of it, because it's a combination of the things that people around me are going through. So, like, one of the storylines was a reflection of my sister and her relationship, and one of the storylines was a reflection of, fears that I have in my future marriage. So some of it, yeah, a lot of it is my person. Like, a lot of the characters reflect my personality. Like, they each have a personality trait of mine. Like, one of them is really funny, one is very sensitive, one is an asshole, one is lit, one is naive, one is very sweet, one is really feisty. So, like, there's so many dimensions to me, and I kind of pour those into my characters. But as far as the storylines go, I can't say that a lot of my personal experiences go into it, but they do influence it, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not telling any direct stories that I've been through, but it's like sprinkled on there somewhere. It's just people around me and things that I see happening around me. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Got to tell that story, and I can relate to them in some way. So it's not all me, but I do influence it, if that makes sense.
That's kind of good, because you want to relate people, especially when it comes to plays, because I've been in a lot of plays. I've seen a lot of plays too, and also participating in plays as well, growing up in high school. But it's good to see that that when you put life experiences into it, people can relate to it more.
Yes,
you see and that's instead of Romeo and Juliet, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, like stuff like that, people can't really relate because it's back in the 19.
This man said the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good play, but
we can't relate to it now. But in those times, remember, these are stories that they've come over centuries. So in that time, that was probably like the littest thing of all time. Like the stories change, and that's a whole different like community. Romeo and Juliet were like you know, we're Black, so our stories are a little bit different. We dealing with some,
100%.
you know, like we're dealing with some other stuff, like
Romeo must
so.
cry or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Romeo must cry.
men cry in the dark type thing. Like so, our, you know,
Oh, that's my joint. Yeah, go ahead.
every culture has their lane, and for us, the focus in the Black community, unfortunately, is relationships. Like that's our struggle, and it's relationships in every capacity, not just romantic, but family. Like our ancestry has been through so much. Like there's so much stuff that we're like decoding right now. We're undoing. That's what our generation's purpose is to undo like a lot
I
of
like
the
that.
stuff that's been done. A lot of us are breaking generational curses right now,
You're
and
right.
so we are.
Especially the culture we come from. We are
Yes.
dysfunctional.
Woo! Oh Lord.
You know what I
We
mean?
Haitian, like
Yeah, we're dysfunctional. You know what I
we're
mean? Because
dysfunctional. We are.
we don't sit
We
back
were
and talk about
dysfunctional.
mental health. Now, my next question is
Mm-hmm.
a two-part question.
Mm-hmm.
If you was to write a book about your life, Melody, Elodie, what would you name it, and what advice would you give women trying to get into the creative field, or just in anything, or just in life, as far as what you experience, as far as like what would you try to tell somebody like Shamice who come out from the Poking Beans, or Lashondra from over town? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you want to know why? You're not going to help somebody you're not going to help Manuska from El Portel because she already got that thing going. You know what I mean? Or Cynthia
Right.
from North Miami Beach because she's
Right.
okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
We assume she's okay. Yeah.
we assume she's okay. Don't get me wrong. This can help
Yeah.
her too, but I really want to help the ones who don't have, you know what I mean? There's women who has no way out, who feel,
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know what I'm saying? Like who has to go
Yeah.
stay with a dude for a place to stay and all this other
Mm-hmm.
craziness. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. What advice would you give to them? You know what I mean?
I think that the title of my book would definitely be The Phoenix Who Rose from the Ashes. I compare myself to a phoenix all the time. I don't know if you know about a phoenix. It's a mythical creature that
Oh
basically
yeah,
Yes.
like would
definitely. I
set.
watch X-Men. I definitely know
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
set itself on fire, turn into a pile of ashes, and then rebirth itself into a new creature, come back bigger, better, stronger, and reinventing itself. And so I think that that would be the title of my book, The Phoenix Who Rose from the Ashes. And what it would mostly focus on is self-care. And I say that because a lot of Black women, we're like, we're taught to be self-sacrificial. At least Haitian, I can speak for me, Haitian women. Like it's everybody else and then you last. And I would tell them to flip that formula. It's you first and then everybody else. Fill your own cup first and then give everybody else whatever's left over because it's their responsibility to fill their own cup. It's not your responsibility to go to everyone's cup and take a little bit out of yours and put it in there and take a little bit out of yours and put it in there. It's not your job to do that. And it's not just for women, it's for men too. You know, like make sure that your cup is full first in every way, financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, health wise. Make sure that you are full. Make sure that you're okay. Make sure that you're stable. And then take on everybody else. I don't care if it's your kids. I don't care if it's your mom. I don't care who it is. If you have to say no, say no. It's okay. And once you start to take care of yourself, you'll start to see that your life is bearing more and more fruit. And I would also say that it's okay to take baby steps. You don't have to live. If you have to live with a dude to have some place to stay, come up with a plan. Like, yo, I'm gonna be here for 6 months. I'm gonna stack my bread up and then I'm out on my own. Don't get comfortable where you are. Because when you can depend on yourself and when you can provide for yourself, no one can tell you anything and nobody can take anything away from you. And I think that's the one thing that my father always taught me. Like, never let anybody, especially a man, feel like he can take care of you better than you can take care of yourself. And that's something I've carried with me everywhere that I've gone. Like and like my cousin says, it's God, it's you, and then it's everybody else. And that applies to every situation. I don't care if you've been with a nigga for 10 years, he comes after you and everybody else comes after you. So that would be my main thing. Like, don't be afraid to reinvent yourself. Don't be afraid to put yourself first and take baby steps. It'll take you exactly where you need to be.
Wow, that was
So
very
in
inspirational.
layman's term,
I'm not
don't
gonna
be a
lie to
bust down or a jeje.
Yeah, like you don't
Wow.
need to be. I mean, it's okay to like get help from men. You know, like it's okay for them to send you $100, or however much you need here and there, but that should not be like the basis of your like stability. That's crazy. I feel like that's crazy. I can't say anything for anybody else, but why? When you literally can build an empire out of nothing. You can if you really focus and you do what you got to do. Like, yeah, everything
But
else
the
that they
question
give you
is,
is extra.
they always ask how? Because I'm a black man living in a white America. How can I be successful? What way? Show me.
Well, like I said, we all came on this planet with a purpose. And usually your purpose will lead you to your wealth, I feel like. But a lot of times we're not taking the time to really understand who we are and why God sent us here. So we just dabbling into anything like, okay, me, I've been writing since I was 5, 6 years old. That's not something that somebody taught me. That was my soul came here with that gift. So I'm turning my gift into a business or into, whatever, profitable, I guess. Some people are good with cars. So if you're good with cars, start working on cars. You start working on one person's car, you do a good job. They're like, yo, I know somebody to work on cars. And you just keep building from there. Some people are here, they're good with their hands. They're carpenters. They can build, they can renovate. So remodel somebody's bathroom for free. You're not getting paid immediately, but the referrals are going to come. Some people are good at hosting, like you guys. Okay, y'all are good at talking. You guys are curious about people and what they do, and now you're building it into a podcast. And everybody has a lane, like everyone has a pocket, but it's a matter of tapping into what that is and building on that. Like some people want to just go the quick route, you know what I mean, and like make quick money. It's not about that. You find something that keeps you stable while you build what you're trying to build, and then you take off with it. Like God didn't send you here with a purpose for no reason. It's meant to help you become abundant, So I don't know. It's just.
Oh, that was good that you say that, because
It was.
I needed to ask you this. I don't know why it slipped my mind. I think we was just hypnotized just by you talking. But I should ask this question in the beginning. Do you have a regular job or a profession? And if you do,
Yes.
How do you juggle that with your stage play pre-corona? I had to
It's
put
really
that very
hard.
clear. Huh?
Yeah, actually, my last stage play, I had just started my job, so I was going through a training. I was going through a training at a new job.
Mm-hmm.
I was having rehearsal 5 or 6 times a week. So I would work. I would go to training at night or training during the day. Have my rehearsals in the evening, and I'm not gonna lie, like it was a lot. I was sleeping like maybe 2 or 3 hours a night, but it's what I love to do. So it didn't really feel like work as far as my play was going. It was just like, this is what I get to do for fun after my job or before I go to work. So it's like I had 2 full-time jobs basically, and
Wow.
it turned out amazing. Yeah, I had like 2 full-time jobs, but I do have a regular job. But I gave myself a time limit. So by my birthday next year, I'm gonna be like a full-time entrepreneur.
That's what I'm talking
Because I'm
about.
like,
Yeah.
I'm buying a home, and I'm buying a home, and I'm doing like little things to get myself right, so that by the time I go full entrepreneur, I'll be set already. So, yeah.
No, but say that again. You say you got 2 jobs, and you're using that 2 jobs to fund your business, and by next year, you're trying
No,
to
I have
become an
one job.
entrepreneur.
She has
Oh,
one
you
job.
have one job now.
I have one job, but I have my company, which is my second job, and
That
so
is beautiful. No, the reason I want you to say it again so people can hear that. Look how women hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I want you to say it again.
And black men need to support it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
That's the issue
keeping
we're
it
having.
100.
We
We
don't
need to
support
support our
women enough.
queens.
We
need to
don't.
stop all the rhetoric and all that. And that's what I'm saying. I love to hear that you hustle harder than most niggas I know.
Yeah, for real. I didn't want to say the nigga
No, I'm
part,
keeping
but
it
you said
100,
it for me.
baby. I'm
Yeah,
keeping it
you
100.
said
Like,
nigga for me. I wouldn't
yeah,
never even
for
say
real.
it, but you said it.
I know 5 dudes right now that's at a corner right now.
Mm-hmm.
That at a corner, right?
Facts.
Yeah, I think that men do. Men definitely, for me at least, I think it's just about how a woman presents it. Like,
Yeah.
I think honestly, like a lot of my audience is 50-50. You would think it's like mostly women, but it's 50-50. And the guys that come up to me after, like, man, I ain't gonna lie, man, this shit was hard. This shit was raw. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. You were paying attention. Like, my audience is 50-50. So the men definitely support. They definitely support, and like what you guys are doing right now is supporting.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you're doing. You're creating a platform for people with businesses to talk about their story, tell their story. That's what people love to do. So you're supporting, but like I said, everybody has their own pocket.
Yeah.
You know, this is how you're showing support, and then when you come to the shows, that'll be another. And you know, spreading the word.
We'll
That's
be
another
there.
form of support.
Cameras and all, supporting you. And if you need shooters, I'm on deck.
Okay. Oh gosh.
I'm on deck. Like,
okay.
Yeah, we on deck.
But you need we need to hear stuff like this because we need to support each other in the Black community.
No, we do.
We don't have no support at all.
And listen, and here's the thing, and I want to mention this, and we're talking about support, meaning that when I come to her shows, I'm actually going to pay. I don't want no free tickets.
Oh yeah, no, we don't get free tickets.
You know what I mean? I just want to reiterate that because our culture, in a sense, think that just because you're doing something and I'm cool with you, that I can get in for free. And you know what I'm trying to say? I try to explain this to a lot of people. Like, I don't question Black people prices. So if your stage play is $63, I'm gonna pay $63. I'm gonna tell my homeboy to pay $63. I'm gonna tell that there's no such thing as no VIP or nothing that. Because you want to know why? If I don't help put money in your pocket, how I'm gonna expect you to be bigger?
I think too, you set that boundary early. Like, you know, the only people who got free tickets were clearly my parents.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was
the Haitians ain't gonna pay nothing.
Yeah, that was the end of that. My brothers, everybody paid their ticket. Like whoever wasn't helping bought their ticket, and because they know me and because they watch how hard I work, it was never my friends too. Like it was never a question. Like, you know, whoever wasn't working the show, they bought. And I can say that for me, I'm thankful for that. I've never really had to deal with people being like, yo, you know, people were like, man, I'll pay extra. I need, like, because we were sold out. We had no more tickets. Literally, like, we had no tickets. I'm like, man, look, I know you got 3 tickets somewhere. Like, bro, I have nothing for you. I'll pay you double. No, where are you going to sit? There are no seats, you know? So God has definitely been, he's blessed me with abundance. I haven't had to deal with that, but I know that there are people who do. All I have to say is set that boundary early. Like, hey, yo, that's not even how I'm moving. Like, don't disrespect my work like that. You're not getting nothing for free. You feel me? Like, and they shouldn't want to. Like, why would you want to come to my stuff for free? Like, no, you know, unless we're blood relatives. Like,
basically, but we have people like that. We got people in our community like that who who think this is a game. And I'm very supportive on Black businesses, especially women. I don't like if you tell me something, I'm not gonna question your price. I'm just gonna pay for it because we don't do that with other races. We're not gonna do that with Papito or Brad or Ahmed. We don't question that.
Those are not the people that you want. People who are asking for free tickets, those are not the people you want there anyway. I want people who they believe in me so much they're gonna pay $120 for a ticket.
100%. But we still gotta listen here. Us being people, I'm gonna chastise my people because I have the right to and put them on his feet and be like, hey, Rashid, look out, fool. Rashid, come here and pay like you wave, bruh. Like you been hanging with me for this long, just pay. Sometimes our people don't know no better because we already been in a trance for so long.
Exactly.
So and that's just and that's what it is with that. Now we're gonna close. I have my last question for you is from a financial point of view, has it been tough for you to focus on your like financially? Because I know when it comes to stage, renting out stages and getting these
set designers
and having people to work on deck for stages, and I know you just can't get no regular old Joe Blow to run them carts and start to build stage plays and stuff like that. Like financially, how do you work around that? And how do you do that? Do you have sponsors? Do you have VCs that support you, or this has just all been you?
I'll be honest, it's been self-funded. It's been self-funded, and that has been pretty difficult. I'm not gonna lie, because you have like your own bills, like your mortgage and your, you know, car note and whatever. You gotta eat, you gotta pay your bills or whatever, and then you have everything for the stage play, your actors, your set designer, your lighting, your people who are bartenders. You have like all these people that you have to pay out. So it has been a bit of a challenge, but with me planting the seeds early, like I have investors now who are like, look, I got 7 bands for you. You come up with 3 bands, I'll give you 7 to top it off. You come up with, whatever, I'll pay for the website designer, I'll pay for the videographer. So the seeds that I planted were very much worth it, because now people are starting to honor my work and they're recognizing my brand and they want to give to me. So it was definitely challenging at first, but I know that this upcoming season, I have at least 15 bands just waiting for me, just sitting there waiting for me to do whatever it is I want to do with it. So it was definitely difficult, but that's what you have to do when you're trying to earn people's respect and when you're trying to build a following. Like, you can't expect somebody to give you 15 bands just because you have a good idea. Some people luck up like that, but what I'm doing, a lot of people have never really seen or heard of before. A lot of people in Miami have never even been to a stage play before. So
Preach.
like, they were like, what is that? What you mean, like a play? What you mean, like, I've been to a church play? Like, yeah, it's not the same, but it was like a full-on production. So,
Yep.
Like, now that I'm kind of solidified in what I'm doing, people are like, oh, what? She did 2 sold-out shows on her own? Nobody wrote her a check? Nobody wrote me a check. Nobody. I had to design the flyer myself. I had to print the tickets myself. I bought the food. One of my very good friends cooked all the food. My sister, like I said, was at the front door taking tickets. My actors literally worked for $75. They rehearsed for 6 months. I only paid them $75. And they did that off of love for me. Like, they believed in my dreams. They believed in my vision. They believed in me as a leader. And they were like, man, well, you can keep that. You ain't got to pay me. A lot of them did not let me pay them. A lot of them were like, nah, I'm good. And they're ready again to come back to work again. So it's like, it's hard in the beginning, but when you start to earn people's respect and people's trust, like, they're going to give you, they're going to invest, but you got to do your part first. Like, no one's going to just give you anything without you putting in your own seed. You got to plant your own seed first, and it's going to come.
No, I love to see, your story is very inspirational to me.
Whew.
And I think to Hakeem as well. And because I've been to stage plays, I seen something like the Adrian Art Center, the one in downtown Miami.
Yeah.
And you see the line of people, which is very surprising, because you see the line of people and it showed that how they support their own kind. And for you to have that experience, like, it's packed out, it's sold out. Kudos to you, Queen. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying kudos to you.
Yeah, my goal is to sell out the American Airlines Arena eventually.
That's what I'm talking
that's
about.
my goal. That's my goal. Like, in the next 5 years, if
I love
that.
to hear that. That's a very feasible goal.
That's a big goal.
Good. That's a very good.
That's a huge feasible. You think so? I'm like, how am I gonna do this?
No, you need to hit Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden. Let me tell you something. If it's not that, listen. If you would have told me Little Haiti Cultural Center, which you already accomplished, then I would have said you ain't ready to cook yet. But since you say that, I say, yeah, it's feasible. You about ready to do that.
Yeah, I think so too.
No, Madison Square Garden.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's not big enough. You should say you need to be playing at the Cathedral, at the Coliseum.
Oh, Lord.
No, that's how you got to do it. If it's not big enough, then it's not a dream.
Tyler Perry thought that way, and look where he's at now.
Look where he's at.
His house is like freaking. That's a whole nother story.
Let me tell you something. I love that you say that, because America Arena here is our Madison Square Gardens.
Exactly. Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying?
I think I can do it too. Yeah.
It's not you think you can do it. I think
you gotta say you can do it.
Yeah, you
already know I can do it.
Yeah,
I don't understand, but it's so nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking. It's just nerve-wracking though, because it's like, it's your baby. Like, it's something that you created, and you just want people to.
And sometimes we suffer from imposter syndrome. That's what it's called. You know what I mean?
That?
We suffer from that, and we play ourselves. Shit, starting this was an issue. You know what I mean? Trying to start a podcast when I seen a lot of these other Hispanic. I seen a Hispanic guy start this, and I say, hey, why couldn't I do what he do?
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is the dude I know, and he's doing this, and I say, I could do that. And you know what I mean? But in the first thing I was like, man, but you know what I'm saying? We have to get from by that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome is sometimes when you're working in something, and you know what I mean, you could be doing good, but you're gonna get into a point sometimes when you feel like you're not good enough.
Yeah, the anxiety.
That's real. That's
real. Yeah, it's because of what you've been programmed. You breaking a program of your mind. Your mind's been set on a certain way that you always been taught, especially as black, that we're gonna mount to nothing, we're gonna be nothing. So you fight against that.
You fight now. I'm gonna read you the definition.
Go ahead.
It says also known as imposter phenomenon. It says that a psychological pattern is which an individual doubt their skills, talents, or accomplishments, and have a persistent internalization fear of being exposed as a fraud.
Damn.
Wow. So that means you pretty much being your fake self.
Your fake self. When you're accomplishing it, you feel like you're being a fraud. Like, damn, I don't even know how I got here.
Yeah,
I ain't even that good.
Or you feel like you selling out or something. You
pretty much
against the grain. Yeah.
It's because it's a social programming, but the way you break it is what you're doing now. It's going out there and taking a risk. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So
I told you we breaking generational curses.
You did. You said it.
And I want you to hear this from a black man. I support you. I think you got something great going. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to see you blossom.
Yeah, me too.
You gonna see it. You gonna see it.
I would love to see you blossom. You know what I mean? Because it's a beautiful thing to hear you and hear your, especially the whole spirituality infecting that. I love to hear that because you know our peoples are very, very spiritual.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Our peoples. You know what I mean?
That's the foundation of black people. That's the root of who we are. Yeah.
But especially our peoples, because you know we come from the tribe of Levi, and you know what I mean. And a lot of Levites are actually priests. If a lot of people know that tribe in Israel, you know what I'm saying. And so it's a beautiful thing. Now you see, I could talk to you forever, but we need to. I just got one more question.
Go ahead. We got. I have time, so y'all go ahead.
Yeah. One more question. So, what for the future of your business? And I don't know if you just heard that Eddie Murphy sold Coming to America 2 for $125 million to Amazon. Do you have any plans? Yeah. I said the same thing.
They're gonna show it on Amazon Prime.
They're gonna show it on Amazon Prime.
You know how much money they're gonna make? Okay, but go ahead.
They're gonna make a billion.
Yeah, I know. I said the same thing too.
I said the same thing too.
So made more money than that.
Twice as money. But they do. Amazon do support a lot of independent filmmakers.
I know.
Yeah. So my question is for you. Do you it's an incumbent. Do you have people filming your plays? Or are you gonna put it on streaming sites? Or are you gonna stream it from your home?
Why are you tapping into my stuff?
No.
Okay, I have some stuff coming. I can't say it for you know, security reasons.
Oh no, that's good.
We have a couple
stuff in the works.
Yeah, we have some stuff in the works I can't say much about. You guys are gonna be able to see my past work. I don't have on film, and that's on me for my own. You know, whatever.
That's what I was saying because I was looking for stuff. I wanted to see one of your plays, and mind you, if it was on YouTube and there was a buy button, I would have bought it right now.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I mean? Because you know I like to do my homework on people. I just don't play games. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, and that's another revenue stream that I think a lot of people no more. Even if you had a website. And you had some of your old plays on there, and you had a buy button where we'd be able to stream it off your website. People will buy it in this because a lot of people are not going to be able to come to your plays.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. COVID and me and God's conversations have been. I'm like, okay, look, you know, this is my conversation with God when my show got canceled this year. I'm like, oh my God, like. Because I didn't do anything in 2019, and that's odd for me. I've been doing the play every year since 2012. So I'm like, okay, this year was going to be the year. I had a whole marketing plan, whatever. And God was like, look, just chill. Like, just sit on, just rest. I got you. Just keep writing, keep working on other stuff. And, you know, he just kind of showed me very clearly what my next steps are. And it's going to be big. You're going to see me everywhere. Trust me. You're going to see me everywhere. You'll be like, oh, okay, this is what she's talking about. You're going to see me everywhere. So it is coming. I have a lot of projects in the works. For me, for my future, I really do see myself having $1 billion production business with 75% of my employees being Black. I want Black cinematographers. I want Black editors. I want Black writers. I want Black actors. I want Black everything. I want to build an enterprise where I want Black accountants. I want Black financial advisors. I want Black I want Black everything. And I feel like, you know, just building up Black wealth and, you know, just having a production company that pushes out content that is going to feed our next generation, that's going to help reframe their thinking, make them tap into their spirituality, and just like, you know, just doing healing work everywhere. And then of course, expanding my charity work and, you know, just taking care of the people. Like that's my main thing, is just taking care of the people mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and, you know, just doing my part, fulfilling my purpose. That's all I can say. Like that's all I want to do.
And for that, I appreciate you again. I will call you a Black Messiah. You get what I'm saying? Black
Ooh,
Messiah is
I
so
like
much
that. I'm gonna
higher.
use that.
I
Black
met God and
Messiah
she
is
was
the Black
black.
son.
Is that what you saying, Roni?
Black Messiah. Black
No,
Messiah is someone
I met
that
God and she was black. Is that what you trying to say?
Black woman is God. I've been telling people that from the
Yeah,
longest, man.
I met God and
Yep,
she was black. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Do you have any
Mm-hmm.
final thing, Roni? Because hey, les FM fatigué. I'm already done. She's
No, but I just want to know, like, how can the people follow her?
oh
Like,
yeah, that's in
what
it.
can they search
Yeah,
for you? Where they find you
I'm
at? What's your
gooking.
YouTube page? Let's get it in. You know, some people gonna ask, like, okay, she talk a good game, but let me see some of her work.
Yeah, no, her
So yeah,
thing is
you know,
official.
go
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
You guys can follow me at Miss MS Elodie Alcindor, which I'm sure you guys we're gonna put it in like the captions and
Yeah, I'm
stuff.
gonna put it in
Of
the link.
course,
You can
yes.
follow my business pages, Blue Royalty Prod, like short for production, and Blue is BLEU, spelled in French, not BLUE. Yeah, I mean, just follow me on social. Just follow my journey. Trust me. There's nothing on there right now because I removed a lot of things, energy purposes. But follow me and trust me. Y'all gonna go on this journey with me and be like, damn, she really meant what she said, and
No,
I really
definitely.
do.
I
So
believe it. We support it.
Yeah, I
yeah,
do. I
thank
support it. I
you,
always support black business anyway.
Definitely.
thank
So
you, appreciate that.
yeah, but we thank you for having you on the show. You was
I
awesome. You was
appreciate you.
amazing. You was great. You was being
Thank
Beyond
you
being a
great.
queen,
guys.
having power and
Inspirational.
dominion. You get what I'm
Thank you.
saying?
You guys are
I'm
awesome.
about to
Vibrant.
be in church. You get what I'm
Wealth,
saying?
abundance, and prosperity. Wealth,
See, hold on,
abundance, and
wait. Let me.
prosperity.
Thank you. I appreciate that, but let me address the church thing, Ron. Right? Because it's not church. Like, and this is something I wish people really understood. And this is like a part of the journey. I know we got to wrap up, but this is a part of the
Yeah.
journey I had to go through. I grew up in church my whole life, right? And there
Go
are a
ahead.
lot of
We know that.
things. Yeah, there are a lot of things that I got from church for sure that I feel like were planted, you know, like throughout my whole childhood. But your spirituality goes to another level when it's more so about the relationship than it is about the rituals. Because church is there to, it's a community, you know, like that's where you go and you're with like-minded people and you get some food for the soul and whatever. But your spirituality is in your everyday practices, like meditating. I meditate. That's in your prayer life. That's in seeking information about spirituality and learning your spirit guides, learning your angels' names, like learning about the spirit world because that's where you come from, you know. And it's like I don't like to get too
Oh
too
yeah,
deep
you going
into
deep.
it
You going too
because
deep. You going too deep, Queen. Too deep.
I
But
don't know if
you
they was ready for that because you was
yeah,
touching
we ain't ready for that. We
chakras
got to
there.
probably do a part 2
Yeah,
of
we might have to do a
spirituality.
part 2 because she was touching chakras right now.
Yeah, she
All
was.
9 of them.
A lot of people were like, "What she just said?" She
Yeah.
was going too deep. I think we got to do a part 2. That's deep what she said.
Man, I just appreciate y'all just listening. Stay tuned for the next episode.